Hi, this is Wing. Now, this data is to show the residential property in terms of demand and supply. So, what is a supply stock? Basically, this is to show that in the whole Malaysia right now, there is a total of 5.7 million units of residential units. There is 5.7 million units of residential units. And there is another 900,000 units which is currently either under construction or in the planning stage. Of the existing supply, 41% of the units are actually terrace house. And out of the future supply, 78.3% terrace house and also high rise. So you can see there is a total of 5.7 plus another 900,000. So you can see in the whole residential subsector, there is a 6.6 million units of residential units which is available in the market. And out of which, the first half of 2020, out of this 6.6 million, a total of 75,000 units of residential units were being transacted. So if we do some simple math, we take 75,000 out of 6.6 million, there is about slightly more than 1% transaction based on the total residential unit. This is basically break down the residential units based on the 75,000 of total of residential units which is being transacted. 30,000 of it is in the terrace house, and then another 11,000 each for high rise and also the vacant plot. And the data, the table on the right hand side is to show the number of terrace house. Currently, the number of existing supply means the number of residential units in the market right now, and this is the number of units which is either under construction or under the plan stage that will be coming into the market once it is completed. So total there is 2.6 million units of terrace house. There is 30,000 transaction. Whereas for high rise there is about 1.5 million units. There is 11,000 units of transaction. Now next we will look at the commercial transaction data. Now this is the commercial transaction data. So for commercial property, there is a total of 8,118 units of transactions for commercial property. So for terrace type commercial properties, there is 4,200 transactions, followed by stratified shop and Soho, and also service apartment. There is 1,500 and also 1,400 units of transaction. Now this is based on price range. Below 300,000, there is 2,500 transactions. Between 300 to 500,000, there is 1,700 units of transacted. 500 to 1 million, 2,200, and above 1 million, there is 1,500 units of transactions. So you can see for commercial data, the number of transactions is widely spread across all the price range. So you can see 31% of the transactions below 300,000, 27.6% between 500 to 1 million. Next is to show the volume for commercial property. Selangor is again number one at 1,870 units, followed by Johor 1,300, and followed by KL 1,200 units. This is the top three in terms of commercial property transacted in the first half of 2020. 23% by Selangor, Johor 16.2%, KL 14.9%. This is to show in terms of supply and demand. So you can see 840,000, 400,000, if you add them up, total there's about 1.2 million units of commercial property either in the market right now or under construction. And out of this 1.2 million units, there is a total of 8,000 transactions. So it's about the range of slightly less than 1% of the units are being transacted in the first half of 2020. Okay, another thing to note here is that if you look at this commercial property, the existing supply, 31.3% of the existing supply of commercial property is actually service apartment. And out of this 429 units which is under construction right now, 72.3% of those units is actually service apartment as well. This is demand and supply for commercial property first half 2020 based on the different type of commercial property. So in terms of total 8,000 units, so half of it is a terrace commercial units. 1,005 is stratified shop or Soho units, and then another 1,004 units is actually service apartment. And on the right hand side, this is to show the number of units, whether it is existing right now in the secondary market or under construction or under the plan stage. So in terms of a terrace commercial property, there is about 1% of the units will be transacted. 1% of the units was transacted in the first half of 2020. This is the industrial transaction data first half 2020. This is also total. There is 1,980 units transacted in the first half of 2020. Most of it is terrace factory, 657 units, followed by semi-detached factory, 478, and also the vacant plot industrial land at 467 transactions. So if you sum up the terrace factory and also the semi-D factory, total there is 57.3% of the total transactions. And because this is industrial property, so you can see 858 of the transaction is actually above 1 million. Between 500 to 1 million, 443 billion, between 300 500,000 is 223 units, and then below 300,000 there is 456 units. Right, so you can see because in industrial property it's on the higher value side, so you can see bulk of it, or almost 50 or 40+% of the units is actually above a million, or 43.3% of the units are above 1 million. Now this is based on state. Number one, 680 units is Selangor, followed by Johor, 252 units, and Sarawak at 207 units. So this is the top three, and Selangor again led the industrial market transactions with a total of 34.3% of the total transactions. KL, you can see here, first half there's only 34 units of industrial property that is being transacted. Looking at the demand and supply, existing supply there's 117 units. Future under construction of the plan stage, there's another 11,000 units. So you add them up, so there is about 128,000 units. All right, and out of which first half there is 1,980 units that is being transacted. Less than 1% of the units that is being transacted for industrial property. So this is based on the different type. Out of the 1,980 transactions, 657 is terrace, and followed by semi-detached and also vacant plot. And on the right hand side, this is basically to indicate the number of factory which is in the secondary market right now, and also which is under construction. So most of the supply, you can see existing supply dominated by terrace factory, 53.9%, followed by semi-D, 23.5%, and detached factory or warehouses 18.3% of the available supply. So this is the end of the informations where I talk about the overall the number of transactions and also the value of the properties that is being transacted as a whole. And also we have looked at the different subsectors. We have also looked into the different states. So if you find this content valuable, do give us a like or give us a comment. If you got any feedback, follow our social media pages, platforms, and subscribe to it, and also share it if you find it valuable. So that's all I have for today. I will see you in the next video whereby I'll talk about the property value. Thank you.
Yeah.